Welcome back to The Boys in the Iceberg, the podcast, where we watch The Legend of Korra. As always, I'm Caleb Ader.
And I'm Harley Davis.
This week we've got two more episodes from Book 3, Change, The Metal Clan, and Old Wounds.
Yeah, I got nothing to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, we can just jump right into the Metal Clan.
You want to jump right into the overview?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So Korra's search for new airbenders leads Team Avatar and Lin Beifong to the city of Zaofu, home of the Metal Clan. There they meet Su Yin, Lin's half-sister, whose daughter Opal has become an airbender. While Opal and Bolin form an instant connection, tensions quickly mount between Lin and Su Yin, both of whom have not contacted the other in 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Meanwhile, in Republic City, Zahir infiltrates Air Temple Island in an attempt to uncover the Avatar's whereabouts, but he is eventually exposed by Kaya and forced to flee.
So I want to spend a little time talking about Zahir in this episode, because he's super cool, right?
He's really good in this episode.
Like, I feel like this is shaping up to be one of the better villains, honestly.
I do remember watching this originally, the first time I watched it, and I didn't realize, because they try to play that trick on you because he shaves his head, and he shows up on Air Temple Island, and he's like, I'm here to become an Air Temple or Airbender acolyte. But he shows up, and he looks different because he shaved his head. But he still sounds the same. He's still built the same. He's still dressed the same. So I don't know why I fell for that when I first watched it. When I was like,
oh, you didn't realize
who is this
new
guy who seems so ominous when they play the different score behind him when he talks? And I was just like, okay, I'm just going with it. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, he's a bad guy. Oh, he's here.
Yeah.
What?
You know that guy who's been terrorizing everybody and breaking people out of prison? Yeah, he's a part of the Airbender clan now.
I was so upset because I thought they were introducing another villain in the middle of this season, and I'm like, stop.
You thought it was a completely separate guy. I mean, he is kind of just like general looking.
But he's a really cool dude. Like, he shows up, and he outshines all of the acolytes in the airbending. I don't know if arena, the leaf thing.
What's it called? I don't know. I thought it was destroyed.
He rebuilt it. They showed that he was rebuilding it.
So he just completely rebuilt it with the exact like specifications and everything of the ancient
he hired
airbender.
a woodbender.
A woodbender.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I guess, because they had the swamp benders.
You could hire an earthbender to make one of those for you, couldn't you?
How? Out of stone?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but it's not really the same thing. I think that they're supposed to be like wood with like canvas or something, right?
I have no clue.
Is it, or is it just like wood?
I think just wood.
I don't know. You have to go out there and grease the what am I looking for? Joints? That's not right.
Grease the wheels.
No, not the wheels. Why can't I think of the bearings? Maybe are there bearings? Do you think?
I have no clue.
But yeah, so they train Zahir. That's jumping way far ahead. We start out with Korra and everybody on Lin's ship actually showing up at this new city that we haven't seen before.
Zaofu, and it's actually a pretty neat city. It's all made out of metal.
So is the entire city made out of metal, or just the outer parts of the little encampments?
I think they made almost everything out of metal.
And so where did they get all that metal? That's a lot of metal.
I don't know. Maybe they just have metal ore around them. That'd be a smart thing to do, is find the metal ore and then just, like
extract it
from where it's at. Like the gold miners did in 49, they just moved to California. And they had gold.
Well, and this would be even easier to find its location because they could feel it.
Yeah, because we're assuming that Su Yin can do the same thing Lin can do, which Toph probably taught them to do with the.
So I don't even think Su Yin did. Was she okay? So we find out that the leader of this village, Su Yin, who is the matriarch or so-called mother figure of the village, is Lin Beifong's estranged sister,
half sister.
Well,
same mom, different dads.
Yes, so that's what we learned. We learned a little bit about Toph.
Toph just sleeping around.
I'm not slut shaming here, but
I am.
Oh, yes, yeah. So Toph was their mother. She kind of wasn't
a bit of a whore.
Yeah, she kind of wasn't always around, as we find out, where she was more devoted to her craft, which was being a policewoman.
Which she was always kind of a tough cookie. So I mean,
it makes sense.
Being a cop makes sense.
And they did bring it up that Toph was always very, like, her parents were very strict and very controlling, and so she was basically the opposite of that, letting her children do whatever they wanted.
Do you think she ever went back to her parents' house and her parents' family and
I'm
just
sure.
like, hey, I
yeah.
had kids. You want to meet them?
I'm sure that she
I
made
banged
up.
Sokka and this other guy, and I have 2 children that look exactly
Hey,
alike.
hey, none of that's confirmed. But yeah, because there was a point during season 2 when they were in the Earth Kingdom of Avatar,
Okay.
where she basically said, "Hey, I want to go make up with my family," right? So they were probably on good terms
Did she?
because that's when she got captured because she thought her mom had sent her a letter.
Oh, yeah. So she was willing to do it, but I don't know if her family was because
They definitely were after
I
she
don't
saved
think,
the world.
I don't think. Look, hey, I know you've reached epitome of success now, so we want to be family again.
Yeah.
Like, can I borrow $40? No, I don't think she actually sent her that message. Remember, that was when the Sparky Boom Man.
I understand that, but
or no, not Sparky Boom Man. The Earthbender and that other guy.
Yes, but we know that Toph was willing.
So she was willing to make, or she was willing to.
And I think
fix
that's
things.
since she's the one that ran away. That's kind of the onus is on her at that point to kind of do something about it.
I guess you're right in that aspect.
Um,
They were kind of awful.
But going back to the Metal City, Zaifu, is that what it's called?
Zaifu, yes.
Do we know that Lin, or not Lin,
Su Yin.
Su Yin, or Sue, as they want her to, she wants people to call her, did she and her husband build it? Or is she the de facto ruler?
I don't know. I think it feels to me more like a refuge, which is what you kind of said during the episode. I think the husband obviously designed it. I'm taking what the context clues I've been given.
Yes.
Her husband is an architect, and she is a metal bender, and so I'm assuming with the help of her 1,500 children, they constructed this vast city.
You think that her children helped construct that city?
Maybe.
One of them's an artist. There's no way. They were not around during the construction.
You don't think so? You
Absolutely.
think it was?
Absolutely not. I know that for a fact.
Sometimes kids are not planned, Caleb. Sometimes before you buy a house, the kid comes along. And you get what I'm saying here?
Well, yeah, but I mean, not that doesn't happen before you.
In this instance, the house is the city they built.
Yes, but I think that these kids, maybe one are the 2 first ones we meet twins.
I'm assuming so.
Okay, so we see
They're very athletic.
her first children. They're out playing a game, which is basically like the metal benders version of pro bending. Which, I mean, it's kind of a dick move for pro bending
It's
to
not really.
include metal bending.
It's a bit different because they don't knock each other down. They try to score points.
That's true.
So it's kind of like hockey, but like pinball combined.
But you think
it was
that,
weird.
You think that they would let metal benders play pro bending?
They might because
You
metal
think so?
benders. Well, metal benders stem from earthbenders. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess they can earthbend.
They can
but
earthbend.
I mean, metal's
they
a lot
let
cooler.
they let Korra bend or pro bend when they knew she was the Avatar.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, let's be a little more inclusive. And are they going to have to start letting figuring out a way to have airbenders play pro bending now?
I don't know.
That'd be
I
a pretty
don't
cool
know.
game. But airbenders could just jump and avoid everything, so they'd be kind of OP. But yeah, so we see her first 2 kids, and I think that they're the oldest, right?
Maybe.
Do you think? And we might find out later. But they seem to me like, and I don't know, because maybe the third child we see is the oldest.
I felt like the oldest was the child or the kid with the dad, and then the 2 we first met were the youngest,
Oh, okay.
and then the angsty, brooding.
I guess I don't
sculpture
remember
person
who's the
being
kid with the dad.
He was the one carrying the papers.
I don't remember him then.
The dad shows up and says, "I made a breakthrough on the new tram thing," and he's like throwing papers everywhere and whatnot. I think that's one of her children.
Okay.
I think he's the oldest.
Yeah, so he was probably, if I'm going to take a guess, he was probably born while they were building the city, and he was really young while it was being built. But I don't think that any of them were actually around while it was being built.
They weren't old enough to assist.
No,
That's fair.
that's what I'm sort of thinking. So then the next kind of the next child we meet is a real angsty teen. I mean, I guess you could say that.
She has 5 kids. Opal.
Yeah. I was
completely forgot about Opal.
No, I knew about Opal. When I said 4, I
Don't
was
lie-
not taking into
Don't lie
account
to me.
the older kid with the father because I forgot about him.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, this next teen is like real angsty into art. If you could call it art,
I don't want to call it art.
I don't think you can. He's got piercings and stuff like that.
Is that why it's not art? I
yes,
draw the
that's-
line at piercings.
Yeah. So if you have piercings, let's think of an artist who's had piercings. Michelangelo, I'm calling you out. He definitely had a piercing, right?
I don't know. Did he?
Maybe. It doesn't really matter. So we get to see that kid who, in all, quite frankly, is my least favorite kid in the show, excluding Milo and Icky. So then we move on to the 4th kid we've seen so far, but the 5th kid overall. You think she's the youngest?
Opal?
Yeah,
I like to think so.
she sort of seems like that. I think that she's like the disappointment of the family.
You think so?
Well, everybody else is a bender.
That's true.
And then at one point, the Sue says that she's very proud of her 2 kids that are out playing sports, but she never says that about Opal
or any of the others.
So yeah, well, I think that it's kind of implied that Opal is like the black sheep because she's the only one who can't metal bend.
And I've always hated that too. When people are like, you can't have favorites in your kids. I'm like,
yeah, you can.
You can. I know for a fact I'm not my family's favorite.
Some kids are just bad kids.
Yeah, they're awful or boring and non-memorable. Like if you have multiple children, you're bound to have favorites.
Yeah, if you got 5 kids, you can pick a couple.
It's fine. I mean, we're not
Don't neglect the other ones. I'm not advocating child
turn them
neglect.
into dumpster babies and just love the others.
Yeah.
That's what we're asking you to do.
But so that gets to the point why the avatars here at the Metal City in the first place is because Opal, not having bending her entire life, is suddenly now an airbender.
But she's a natural. So this is what I was thinking of when I watched this, when they were training each or when she was training her in the little garden or whatever, and she said she's a natural. Do you think that they tried to train her in the ways of metal bending?
I don't think so.
Like they didn't. They were in denial that she wasn't a bender, and
Oh,
they tried
you
to
think.
they tried to force that way on her. Maybe if you did it hard enough, you'd become a bender. Like,
I
you
don't think
they
that's
force
how that
on-
works. I don't think.
No, but like that's a mentality of some people.
Yeah.
Because, you may not have a skill trade, but if we force you to do this long enough, you might have that skill trade.
Like fake it till you make it.
Kind of.
Only that's not how this works at all.
But
I don't
Maybe
know.
they were in denial. Maybe they thought she was a late bloomer or something.
Maybe she was a punching bag for her brothers when they were training. They're just like, okay, stand there and be the dummy. Just take it.
That'd be awful.
Oh
If
yeah,
you're a
that'd be
punching bag.
really bad. But yeah, so apparently she's pretty good at airbending just off the get go. We've only seen that out of one other person.
Zahir.
Yes.
But I wanted to point out before we get back to Zahir, we already see kind of a little bit of tension, not just between Lin and Su Yin. There's a lot of tension there, but between I want to say Katara every time. Korra and Su Yin. When Korra says, "Hey, we're here to bring you back to Air Temple Island so you can train with the Airbenders."
Yeah. So Korra is under the assumption that Opal is going to leave with them. Well, that's not what Su Yin thinks. Su Yin is like, oh, you can start training her right away. Here.
This is her home. This is where she needs to be taught.
This is her home. I don't know what that. This is her home. Is that is that Owen Wilson?
It could be a thing.
I don't know.
We're going to turn that into a bit later
Yes,
on.
that's my new character.
Anyways.
He only says this is her home.
This is her home.
But yeah, so that Su Yin's not kind of keen on the idea that Opal is going to go live the life of an airbender.
So which I think she's kind of a shut-in anyways, and she wants to keep everything close because I think that's what the city escape kind of represents.
Well, yeah, we see
because
that.
the city actually closes in on itself, and it's a thick shell, almost like a lotus that folds in on itself of metal every single night.
Yeah.
So she's probably extremely overprotective anyways.
And she takes a dig at Lin early in the episode when she says this is the safest city in the world, which Lin would like to think Republic City under her guidance would be,
Which
but it's definitely not.
So far, I would say that the city that they're in, Zaofu, is probably safer than Republic City because Republic City has natural crime.
Yeah,
that happens
because
throughout.
there's a ton of people.
There's so many.
And that's a unique thing about Zaofu,
Zaofu.
is a lot of like the rejects of society have come here to form. It's a lot of artists and like artisans and people who are like really good at, like the chef used to be a pirate and now he's this world-class chef. He's all like gruff and tatted up and everything. He's got piercings, so I mean he's a chef, so that's fine. But and then we also get to see another character who is kind of on the outs of society.
I do not remember what character you're talking about.
Varric shows up in this episode.
No, I forgot Varric was in this episode.
You're doing Owen Wilson now too. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so Varric shows back up. He's still got his personal assistant.
Zuli.
Zuli, yes, thank you. Yeah, so he still got her. I don't know how, but we find out that he did in fact escape from prison.
Which we saw that happen when the vines busted in the prison.
They didn't catch him, and now he is taking refuge
on the lam
at this city. Which I don't know why they would let him just call the police.
This is a thing that Su Yin brings up. She's like, "Well, I'm all about second chances. Varric might have made some mistakes earlier on in his life, but are you really going to let that define his character?"
He tried to kidnap the president.
No,
and start a war.
We are going to let that define his character. He's kind of awful.
Yeah. But I mean, he's still. I think his heart's still in the right place.
Which I think this is why I was confused when we originally talked about Varric when he first turned on everybody. I couldn't remember if he was a good or bad guy.
Yeah, I didn't either.
It keeps on coming back like this. Like he does bad things, but then he comes back and nobody really attacks him or like shuns him. They're kind of like, all right, well, Varric's here.
I think he doesn't necessarily do good or bad things. He just does whatever he thinks is best for Varric.
I think John Michael Higgins had a lull in his career, and they just needed him to be put back into the show, and they're like, the only reason we can keep him back
That's absolutely not the case.
is if we portray him as not a bad guy, but not a good guy either.
Let's go back to Zahir a second, because there's actually a really cool scene in this episode where Zahir finds like this, I don't know, what would you say? Is it like a locket?
Yes.
It's got inscriptions in it.
It's very monkish.
Yeah, it's in Tenzin's study, and it's like this gold medallion kind of that has what looks like Chinese writing or Asian writing of some sort that we think is the monk, or we know in fact that is the monk that Zahir keeps bringing up, who was able to become weightless, basically, who's able to just fly around.
Yeah, I can't find the inscription, but it's Guru Lagima's.
Guru Patik.
Guru Lagima's.
It doesn't work as well.
But I tried, man.
Yeah, so does he say is Lagima, I think. I don't remember.
Guru
anyway.
Lagima. But anyways, there's an inscription on there, and it says something about, God, what does the inscription say?
It's like it's something about leave your earthly bonds and fly into the next tomorrow or something like that.
Enter into the void.
Yes.
I remember the void.
Yeah, it is in the void. So I think it's kind of like, he keeps bringing it up. So I think it's like foreshadowing because the first episode we saw Zahir, he was talking about this weightless monk.
He was.
And now he finds this trinket in Tenzin's study and gets caught by Ikki.
He does get caught by Ikki, but she's not really on the defensive.
No,
she's kind of like, whoa, hey, what are you doing here?
She stumbles in. She's kind of like like Cindy Lou Who from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. She's kind of an idiot when you got this giant green monster in your house stealing all your presents, and he just wants a glass of water or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Timely reference. And of course, this is just the original Dr. Seuss. The animated version.
They're making another one.
An animated version?
Another animated. We will have now.
Like a remake?
3. Count them 3. Uno, dos, tres. How the Grinch Stole Christmas movies.
Well, okay, so the Jim Carrey one's a little bit of a departure from the norm. So I don't.
It's a bit insane.
Why do we need another animated movie? The first one is.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I don't think we do not need one because.
I gotta parse that out for a second. I don't think we do not need one. Does that mean you think that we do need one, or that you're not opposed to the idea of one?
I'm not opposed to the idea of one.
Okay.
Because we had Horton Hears a Who.
Yes. So
it was really
is
good.
it going to be that style?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we had the Lorax, which was really good. And then we had...
He speaks for the trees.
He speaks for the trees. Which, and you have the old ones, too. You have the old animated ones. Everybody remembers the old animated, was it 80s or 90s?
I think
Grinch Stole Christmas.
I think it might have been even earlier than that.
And
I don't even remember. It's timeless.
The Cat in the Hat. And then apparently there was a lot of others, too, like Horton Hears a Who and the Lorax, and I think Yertle the Turtle was one.
I remember the
animated
Turtle.
movies.
I don't remember
forever ago.
Horton Hears a Who. Maybe I do.
With the original Cell
I
animation.
could be Dr. Seuss. I don't remember Horton Hears a Who. Maybe I do.
Thank you very much for
yes,
that.
thank you.
But with the original Cell animation, there's a bunch of those. And so I remember watching the Lorax about a year ago. I had first discovered the Lorax about
He
a year
speaks
ago.
for the trees.
And I was like, this is awful. And
Really?
so I went and I discovered, and then I looked up the newest Lorax movie that came out a few years
you're
ago.
talking about the old one.
The original Lorax movie. The original Cell animation.
Now we're going to transition over to Danny DeVito as the Lorax.
Which is amazing.
And he could have just played it live action.
He could have. So now we're getting another one of those with the Lorax, the new 3D animation. And, Ed Helms was the voice of the main character, or that dude who plays the song. Oh God!
I've never seen.
You've never seen the new Lorax film?
No.
Okay.
Neither have I seen the entirety of Horton Hears a Who.
That's fine. But Horton Hears a Who is Steve Carell, really good. Ed Helms and Danny DeVito, and Rob Riggle do.
Nice, Robert.
Do the Lorax, and then the Grinch, the new Grinch movie, comes out next year, I think. And next year or this year, I think next year. But I haven't heard who's in it.
I don't know.
But the Jim Carrey was a bit of a. People love that movie for some reaan. Like your average moviegoer loves that movie. People around here love that movie, but critics hate that movie.
Yeah.
And I remember that and Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat was. People love that movie. It's a terrible movie.
Cat in the Hat? I've never seen Cat in the Hat.
It's not good.
I'm assuming it is.
It is obscene. There is one point in time where he talks about having an abortion and he pulls out a coat hanger.
What?
I'm not kidding.
What are you talking about right now?
I'm not kidding. And there's one scene where he says something about a hoe, and I think he says, "Oh, you dirty hoe," but he's talking to a garden hoe.
Oh, of course.
Which is fine.
It's your classic
but
misdirect.
It's whatever. But it's callous, and it's ornery.
I might have to watch that movie now.
But it's live action. And I remember...
The makeup I always thought was good. I thought they did a good job.
That was pretty good. But and I love the universe that's in. Everything's like all squiggly and squaggly and weird. And
you know who needs to make a Dr. Okay, yes. Thank you.
That would be amazing.
Yes,
but the reason why we no longer have any live action Dr. Seuss movies is because family members of Dr. Seuss actually came forward after the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat film, and they're like,
enjoy that
they're
too
like,
much.
no more, no, we're not doing this.
Please stop ruining our fathers. Please stop ruining our father, please.
So back to the topic at hand. Cora, or at this point in time, Icky, I think is the child's name. Is Denora dead still?
What do you mean is Janora dead still?
They found her spirit. Never mind. Okay,
yeah, at the end of the last
I forgot what
season,
Janora was doing.
She came back and solved everything.
Well, Milo is training an entire airbender army. Denora's not doing squat.
Yeah, Tenzin is not in this episode. Could they not get J.K. Simmons?
Before J.K. Simmons. I wonder how much, because J.K. Simmons is not necessarily a household name, but he's a pretty famous actor. So how much did he charge for this show?
He's one of the guys that's like, oh, my kid really loved Avatar: The Last Airbender.
You think so?
That's what it feels like.
I'm going to assume his prices went up after Spider-Man trilogy.
But I also, of course. But I also feel like, and like Whiplash and stuff.
This is pre-Whiplash.
Is it pre-Whiplash?
Yes.
When
Whiplash
did Whiplash
is a couple
come
years
out?
ago.
Oh, I'm thinking of Drumline, starring J.K. Simmons.
Different race. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I feel like J.K. Simmons is one of those guys that is like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. I just want to be involved.
You think J.K. Simmons is actually one of those down-to-earth, really cool guys?
Yeah, like Bruce Willis.
Yeah, good old B. Wills.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so Icky has discovered Zahir, kind of, because she doesn't really know what's going on.
What is his name? His stage name is like Yoru.
I wrote down, Yoru.
But so he shows up in this and the Airbender Air Temple Island as an acolyte named Yoru. So nobody knows he's Zahir.
And nobody recognizes him.
Which is fine. Well, think about Icky and Janora and Milo wouldn't know who he is.
No, definitely not.
Tenzin is the one who put him, or not Tenzin, Korra's dad.
I don't remember his name. Una Varek?
Yep. Rook. A lot of Rook.
Yeah. It's Tone Rock.
Tone Rock. See, we're close. Rook. Yeah. He was one of the ones that actually put Zahir and his crew away. So they would recognize him, maybe, but we haven't seen him run into Kaya or Boomy or Tenzin because Boomy's not in this episode either. And
Oh, yeah,
Tenzin's
Boomy's
in this
not.
episode either. So we don't know. Maybe there was a reason why they weren't in this episode. That way, it made it more believable that he was blending in.
Maybe they're out looking for more airbenders.
Yeah,
Probably
because
not.
Didn't they split off?
Well, yeah, but I think that the reason they split off was so Tenzin and them could all bring the airbenders back.
Okay, that makes more
But
sense.
we also don't have Janor in this episode.
So where are these guys
And
at?
we don't have the kid.
Kai.
Yeah.
Kai.
Yeah.
Or that Bruce Willis film, The Kid.
Was Mako even in this episode? Did he have any lines?
For a second. Remember, because
Asami didn't, right?
Asami didn't have any. She had one line towards Lin, I think.
That's like in the beginning though,
But
right?
this was mainly about Bolin and Opal and Korra and Opal and Lin and
yeah,
Suyin.
so we didn't even mention Opal, the what we're assuming is the youngest daughter of Sue,
Only
and
daughter,
then the
youngest child.
also the youngest daughter, Harley. That's how that works.
Then she's also the oldest daughter.
True,
Caleb.
technically, if you want to get real technical about it. But so Sue and whatever her husband's name is, not even going to try, had this daughter Opal that we talked about earlier. She's got kind of a thing for Bolin.
And Bolin's got kind of a thing for her.
Well,
And Opal is...
after Mako, that's what. Okay, so Mako is in this episode because he talks Bolin into talking to Opal.
So Mako does have lines.
Yeah, a choice few.
Which is funny. So he does come out to say, what does he do? Opal's out there practicing airbending, and Bolin shows up and starts being a real douchebag. Just like the way, like a tool, like a college campus frat boy tool. Like you would meet. It's like, what up, bro? You want to play some beer pong later, bro? Like that's the kind of person he's coming off. And she goes, "You're being real weird right now." And he's like, "I'm just really nervous when I meet a girl that I like, and she likes me."
He goes from, "Hey girl, how's it going?" to, "Oh, I don't know.
I don't know, Rick.
I don't know, Rick."
We're gonna get in trouble for saying that. But
why are we gonna get in trouble for saying that?
You're right. Nobody listens to this podcast. But so he's like, man, I feel really insecure when or I try to be a different person when I find out somebody likes me. And she goes, "Who said I like you?" And then he starts freaking out. And then she's like, "I'm kidding, I love you." And they make out.
She's playing it cool, and that does not happen because
Playing
Korra
it
interrupts.
cool, like the Chris Evans movie, Playing It Cool.
I'll have to take your word for that because I'm not aware of that.
Everybody, here's my plug for the day: Chris Evans, Playing It Cool on Netflix. Look it up; it's hilarious.
I'm not gonna do it.
Not for you, for everybody else.
Okay. Yeah. So Korra walks up and needs to talk to Opal alone. I guess.
Is that what happens?
I guess. I don't know. But we got away from Zahir, so I don't know how we got back to Korra. But Zahir has run into Kaya at this point. And Kaya is kind of wary of him because she's like, "I've never seen you before.
Well,
you know an awful lot about airbending lore."
Well, yeah, because again, we kind of just blaze past this. Icky discovers him in the study,
Yes.
and then he tells her, he's like, "It's okay, little girl. I'm just here reading this scripture off of this." And he tries to. It's almost cool, like he's imparting wisdom onto.
Because
Icky.
I think that's who he is.
Yeah, and that's really awesome. He's still a bad guy, but he's not a bad guy.
Okay.
Like Ralph.
Yeah.
I don't know how that goes.
Yeah. No, I know.
But so he does a cool thing where he tries to impart wisdom about Guru Lagima to Icky, and she's like, "Oh, that's cool." And he reads her the inscription, and then he tells her what he was about, and then she leaves, I think.
Well,
and
Kaya shows up.
Kai shows
and
up.
Kai's like, "Hey, Icky, hey, why don't you get out of here?"
This guy's kind of sketch.
Yeah.
Scram. And then so she confronts Zahir about what's going on, and that's when she says, I've never seen an airbender take to it as easily as you have.
Well, she says something to the effect of, "You seem to know an awful lot about airbending for someone who just became an airbender."
To which he responds, "I've always been interested in the culture."
Yeah, so like that was what I thought throughout this when she's talking to him. I thought she was implying that he came from another tribe of airbenders that they didn't know about.
Like an unknown, because they were nomads. So
Yeah.
you could just be out in the desert, an air tribe somewhere. That'd be really neat.
I feel like they would have found you. Because I don't know, but that's what it felt like she was implying. But I was like, why would you think that immediately when all these airbenders have just been popping up? And his culture line completely works. Because it's true. It's just 100% fact.
Yeah, and I love that. He's a very knowledgeable individual. He's not a radical like Amon was. He's not a...
No, he's radical, but he's just very calm about it.
But he's Well, what's his end game? What's he trying to go for here?
I don't know yet. We haven't seen the full season.
Because Amon was straight off the bat was, hey, let's stick it to the man. There's corruption in the city. Like, I feel like that feels more radical than what we've seen from Zahir so far.
Mm-hmm.
And then Unalak? Is that the villain from season 2? Tone Rock, Unalak, Von Rock, Took Rock, Varric, Verrock,
So so
Borak Call.
Unalak, I think.
Bionicle.
It doesn't matter anymore. He was all about destruction, the apocalypse.
I don't know what he was about,
What
really.
was he trying to accomplish?
knows?
Being the dark avatar, I guess.
I'm trying to think what the guy's name was who was on the council with Tenzin.
So he was
The Bloodbender.
Yeah, okay.
I liked his... He didn't get a lot of screen time.
No,
but
and
he was a cool story.
Yeah, what was his name? It was something
Tarlok.
like... Tarlok, yes, there it is. It's like Tone Rock and Unalak.
Why are they all so similar?
I don't know.
Waterbenders, come up with better names, man.
Yeah.
Like you had Yue and like Katara, and you guys were like
I guess you got Katara, Korra. It's kind of close together.
lame.
Yeah. Everyone else has diverse names. Bolin and Mako. I guess that is Mako a firebender name and Bolin's and it doesn't matter. Yeah, but Kaya starts grilling Zahir at this point.
There's grilling steaks.
She's like, "No, airbenders don't eat meat."
turkey. Never mind. I was gonna say turkey steaks. That doesn't change anything. It just makes it healthier.
Yes. But Kaya's like, "Hey, where are you from?" He's like, "I'm from a small village up north." And Kaya's like, "Zahir," and then attacks him. It doesn't take her long to figure it out, which I guess she kind of would recognize him.
Which I would be okay with that if they would have hinted at her being a little suspicious throughout the episodes, like with not really a montage, but the scenes they had him in with the Be the Leaf thing in the gauntlet and him succeeding through that really well. If it would have shown her in the background being like, this guy's a little sketchy.
Yeah.
And then shown...
They might have, and we just didn't pick up on it.
Maybe, I don't know. But like, there's always the rule of 3. Like, I hear the rule of 3 often. You give me 3 incidences of a character doing something, and then I believe in that character's motivations. So, sorry. If I saw Kaya being suspicious of Zahir at least twice, and then the third time she's like, whoa, Zahir! I'd believe it. But I don't. So the last bit, I was kind of like, whatever. She's just, we need this tension. And then he steals that staff.
Oh, yes.
He steals a glider.
Like a glider.
And then he steals the pendant, and then he flies off after whooping Kaya.
But he gets
And
into
2
a
guards.
fight. Yeah, he gets into a fight with the 2 guards that initially knock him out of the air. But yeah.
And we had some really good choreography right here.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because Kaya does the thing, which I don't know if this was intentional, but Kaya does the octopus arms like that one girl on Zahir's team.
Yeah.
And she starts some of the coolest things. She sends this like springy spiral thing at him, and he dodges it and almost attacks with the same thing but airbending. And the choreography is really cool in this scenario.
It's super cool. But then also, I really like how they have Zahir shave his head, but I wish that he would have completely shaved it because he's got like, I don't know, what would you call it? Stubble?
Stubble. Yeah.
Is that the right terminology for that though? It's very, very short, but I wish it would have been shaved clean like an airbender to show that he'd become like one with the airbenders now. That would have been cool.
I don't know, because I think they were trying to... You didn't need more than his outfit to set him aside from everybody else, and also his build. He's much larger than everybody else. But he doesn't show up. They don't give him acolyte clothes for as long as he's there.
No.
They just let him prance around in his streetwear. So, I don't know, that added to the haircut.
I think it'd be cool. Well, I think it'd be cool if he did his own haircut because he's really into the culture of the airbenders. I just think that's just something that I would like to see.
Maybe.
Harley, how's this episode end?
So Korra is actually it cuts back to Korra and the gang.
This is right after she's taken Opal away from Bolin because she's gonna go find Lynn.
Yeah, sure about the Bolin thing. I don't know about that.
Yeah, because that's when Bolin and Opal are standing there. They're about to kiss. I think. Korra shows up. She's like, "Hey, can I take Opal with me?
Ah, yes.
We're gonna go repair some family distress."
And then they don't because
No.
Lynn's kind of a dick. And
She's probably got a good reason though.
Korra actually flips out on Lynn though, and says something about I don't know. She yells at her for being so callous, And then Lynn's like, well, you should, fix the world, instead of trying to fix my family's problems. And
hey, Harley, you're reading that from the Wikipedia?
No. And then Korra says something about Suyin being right.
Harley, I think you're just reading that from the Wikipedia.
About Lynn never changing. And then she leaves Lynn alone in her room. And then Lynn breaks down and cries.
Oh.
And that's the last shot we see.
Thank you, fandom powered by Wikipedia, for that wrap up the episode.
Yeah.
So Lynn gets mad at Korra because she's trying to play God in the family, like their whole family dynamic. Because all Opal wants to do is know Lynn, because she's heard so much about Lynn.
Yeah, she's very ecstatic and she's very starry-eyed. She wants to know new things and she wants to meet her aunt. And that's really nice. But Lynn's just kind of shut down.
I wonder what happened between Lynn and Sue that could have possibly caused this rift. I wonder if we'll find out in coming episodes. And with that, let's get into some trivia. The first piece here is the airship that was already docked in Zaofu is the same model that the Equalist used, differing only in coloration.
Well, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, did they grab an Equalist ship, you think?
I don't know. I hope to God whoever writes these trivia articles...
Oh, God does.
Does not... God does.
God writes all these articles.
Well, God, your last few have been kind of crappy. But
blasphemy, first of all.
That's for blasphemy. I hope they don't listen to our podcast, because no matter if they're good or bad, I just dog on them every single time.
I mean, that one's... nah. Okay, among Su Yin's collection of keepsakes are a dragon pipe identical to the one Sokka used in Avatar Day, a painted lady statuette, and a mask used by sandbenders. Sokka confirmed, you think?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Sokka's one of their fathers.
That's what we can assume, but it has never been confirmed 100%.
I'm not sure which one, though, because...
You never know.
Their characteristics are so weird.
I mean, they never... they say that they have different fathers, but how do they know? Because neither one of them knew their fathers. Maybe Sokka was their father, and they just knew him as like Uncle Sokka, and he didn't even know. Which, you think he would know. He was... What I'm saying is he was raped by Toph.
Toph raped him.
Twice. And had children with him.
And he just woke... They got really trashed one night.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. You never know.
Maybe.
This episode was one of 4 to be leaked by the Mexican government.
Again?
No, it's the same. They leaked 4. The Mexican government leaked 4.
How did the Mexican government get a hold of them?
I mean, they have their ways.
They are all powerful.
They've got all that drug money. There's a picture of a spoiler. There's a picture of a spoiler on the newspaper that Lynn is reading right before Korra and Opal come in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't read that.
Nope. The courtyard in which Korra and Opal train in airbending is a tribute to the American painter Maxfield Parrish. And I will have to take their word for that, as I do not know who Maxfield Parrish is. A scene in which Ming Hua shaves Zahir's head with an ice razor was cut from the final storyboard.
I think that's okay.
I feel
they made a good decision with that.
Yes, but I think that they should have left it in.
Why? What's your argument for that?
Because I would like to see Zahir being like, "Oh, I'm going to be a true airbender now."
Yeah,
I just really like the concept of him cutting his hair to be more like an airbender, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Feels like I really like watching people get their hair cut.
Yeah, that's my thing.
I have. No, I think that they made a good decision by leaving it out.
I think that it worked well.
It kind of
you still know. You still kind of know.
But again, idiots like me 2 years ago didn't know.
That's what they're banking on, because Kaya...
idiots like me.
And then when Kaya's like, Zahir, you're like, what? What?
That's the big payoff at the end.
Yeah, they're writing for their audience. Harley, that's all the trivia.
And with that being all the trivia, we will move on into the next episode right after... Whoa. Well, what's that?
What was that? Oh no, it's a terrorist.
Yes, Caleb, they are indeed terrorists. Please don't kidnap us. Somebody call Agent Cody back.